This video is going to show you how to add a mandatory checkbox to your web page. Now, one example of using a mandatory checkbox would be kind of like what I'm showing here on the screen, and that is to have someone agree to your license or terms before proceeding on to the next page, like a payment or checkout page, or even straight onto the PayPal payment page, as what will take place in this particular example. Now, this does require that you add a little code snippet to your web page, which is no biggie if you just follow my lead step by step. Let's go ahead and run through this as an example to show you what our end result is going to be, and then we'll go through and pick this thing apart and show you from scratch how to put it together. So if you do not check the box and you go to checkout, then it's not going to take you anywhere but right up to the top of the page. So we scroll on back down here and have them check this box to show that they've read the terms. Well, naturally, nobody can make them read the terms. That's totally up to them. But if, say, for example, there were a refund request later on, and let's say that you deny the refund because it goes against the license terms, well, they cannot say that they were not aware of the license terms, because for them to have gotten to the payment page in the first place, they had to click this box. Because if they didn't click this box, then they're not getting to the payment page, which means they didn't pay you in the first place. So if they did pay you, then that stands to reason that they had to check this box and that they read the terms, and well, you get the idea. Anyway, so let's go ahead and with the box ticked this time, now they click on the payment button and they're taken right on over to PayPal. So let's take a look at how we do this. Now, to begin with, we're starting off with the basic sales page and the PayPal button. Whether your PayPal button is the basic default yellow PayPal button or you've added a custom image like I've done here, either way, doesn't matter. The end result will be the same. Now, on PayPal, whenever you create your button, this is typically the code that you're going to get, and that's one that I've used to create this. And if we look at the code here, right click, view page source, this is that form code right here. This is what's generated by this. I simply copied this, pasted it, and that's this right here. But for the mandatory checkbox I'm going to be installing, this is the code that I want, the single line code. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that and put it in a text document, stash it away somewhere, and I'll come back to that here in just a bit. But I'm done with PayPal for now, and we can go and close this out. Now, one of the first things we want to do to get this to work is we have to make sure that our index page is ending in .php. So in most cases, it's going to be ending in .html or .htm. We need to simply change that to .php. And I'm going to be using my file manager in my cPanel account to do this. You can do the same thing by using an HTML editor like Composer or Dreamweaver, or you can edit the file in some kind of a text document on your computer and then upload it to your server through some type of an FTP client like FileZilla or QtFTP. Some FTP clients allow you to make these edits live through that FTP client like FileZilla or QtFTP. But I'm going to be using the file manager here. So first off, we need to rename this to .php. More times than not, this will not cause any problems whatsoever. Rarely will it cause any problems. So simply rename it to .php, click on rename file, and we're good. Now we want to edit this, so we can either right click and go to code edit, or just come on up here after you select it and go to code editor. Either way, we'll get the same job done. Now, the difference between edit and code editor is the code editor has numbered lines. It just makes things easier for me to show you. Now, right up here at the very top, above everything else, so if yours starts off with the doc type declaration, or even if it just starts with .html, you want to put your cursor at the very beginning of that line 1, hit your enter key at least once so you can place this code at the very top of the page. And the code we're going to be placing there is the PHP code. And you can pause the video for a second if you want to make sure you have this copied properly. But this is what happens whenever the mandatory box is checked and somebody clicks on that button, whether it's the default PayPal button or the image that we're going to be using. But this right here is the URL that the visitor will be taken to. So this needs to be replaced with that PayPal single line link that I had that represents that PayPal button. And right here it is. That's the same as this right here. So now we need to come on down to where that button is currently and change it out right here. This is the current PayPal button. We need to get rid of this altogether. So I'm just going to delete that. And in place of that, we need to put the code for that checkbox. Now you can pause the video if you like to go ahead and copy this down, but basically this is the opening form tag, this is the closing form tag, and this right here is the text that's going to say click here, then there's going to be a box to show that you've read the terms. Now actually the way this is set up is incorrect. This is putting the box above the image. I need to change that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, move that up. There, that'll be better. Now let's go ahead and save this, and that's basically it. Takes 3 times as long to explain it than it does for you to do it. Now then, let's come on back here and refresh. Okay, yep, we refreshed the HTML. We need to make that PHP. Now then, we need to scroll on down to where that button is. There we are. And you see, before I changed that, then this text would have been above the image. So this is the way that it should be. So now, if we click on the Buy Now button without having checked that box, it's going to take us to the top of the page. It's not going to take us to the payment. So now then, come on down here, check the box. Now we'll do it. And it takes us to PayPal. Very cool. And that is how you can add a mandatory checkbox to your website. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.